All right, good morning. One of the aggravated assaults is probably one of the bigger things. We'll talk about that. But this happened yesterday around noon. We had a guy that showed up at one of the hospitals with a couple of gunshot wounds. One of them was to his abdomen, and the other was to a leg. Excuse me. They didn't have a chance to talk to him because I guess the doctors took him into surgery. They said it was life-threatening injuries with that. There was a friend that had dropped him off that stuck around, so we get a little bit of information, but we're still trying to piece together exactly what happened. We believe the shooting may have happened somewhere near Equestrian Place. I think that's where the friend found the victim. The victim is a 20-year-old man from Sioux Falls, and I don't have any updates on his condition today, but we're still working this and trying to figure out exactly what happened.
What time did you show up at the hospital?
It was just around noon that he showed up.
Yesterday?
Yeah, yesterday afternoon.
What is it, cross street for Equestrian Place?
That's, yeah, it's the best way to say it. It's probably southeast of like 12th and Marion, a little bit south there on Marion, and then there's a bigger apartment complex that's I can't think of what the cross street would be. Anyway, that's kind of in that neck of the woods.
Was he outside?
I don't know if we know that. I don't know if we know where it happened at. That was where,
Friends saw him out in the
yeah, that's where he was picked up, was outside.
Gotcha.
We don't know at this point if the shooting happened inside or outside.
Was the friend able to give any kind of idea of how it happened?
No, the friend wasn't there when it happened, and it was after he ended up finding the victim and then taking the victim to the hospital.
Can you repeat the injuries again?
There was 2 gunshot wounds, one to the leg and one to the abdomen.
And were the police able to survey that area where they found them? Any shell casings found?
I didn't see anything in the report about any shell casings that were found. Obviously they had the information that's where he was found, so they would have went there. I didn't see anything in the report that they saw anything unusual. So that's detectives are working the case. I didn't have a chance to talk to them this morning, so I don't have any details if they specifically found anything, but the reports that I have didn't say anything about that.
Is it unusual for an under 21 person to show up at a hospital with gunshot wounds that are life-threatening?
Well, I think it's unusual for anybody to have gunshot wounds. The age, who knows, anymore. We've seen random people that have been shot. There's been people that know each other. There's been people that have problems with each other. So we're obviously looking into this and trying to figure out what happened. It's a little difficult, or it can be a little bit difficult when we're not able to talk to the victim. And so in this case, the victim had serious enough injuries that we weren't able to talk to him to find out what happened on his point of view. So it's a lot of backtracking and trying to track down different people and just see if they know anything. And I don't recall that I didn't see anything about any calls about gunshots in that area either. Okay, the other aggravated assault, that was basically a road rage. Somebody was driving and intentionally swerved their car to try to hit another car. The other driver was pretty on top of things and was able to avoid getting hit, but that driver, they ended up finding him. He was arrested for the aggravated assault, but we didn't have any injuries, or the cars did not connect either. Burglaries, both of those were garages. One of them had quite a few items taken. The other was a vehicle that was taken from the garage. The disorderlies, we did have a report, I think it was earlier this week, that somebody had talked about a kidnapping call. There was like a 911 call that was made about a possible kidnapping. We ended up finding out that it was a juvenile that was responsible for that. Actually, there was a few 911 calls about different kidnappings. So juvenile was responsible for that. Really can't give in much more details because it's a juvenile, but there was no evidence of a crime that was committed. So So the reports that were, when the 911 call was made, it was about a kidnapping. There was a couple of them that were that way, and I think it was over the weekend primarily, so. But there was no evidence of any crime that occurred. The other disorderlies were trespassings and reports. The family offenses were protection order violations. The frauds, just some reports on those. Nothing big from the larcenies, a couple of unlocked cars, a few shoplifting, some license plates. Narcotics, nothing real big out of those. Sex offenses, had a couple of sex offenders didn't change their address. Another one was a report. No arrests on that report. Nothing big from the simple assaults. And the vandalisms, we had an apartment window was broken, and then like a badge reader on the side of a building was damaged. Or a card reader, I guess. And that's all I have, unless you guys have any other questions.
Do you have any updates on, you said yesterday you were investigating the shooting where you guys found like 12 shell casings?
11 shell casings found. Yeah, I didn't hear of any updates on that. Anything else? Okay, thanks.